Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News for September 10th, 2020. And on today's show we're going to be talking about some of the headlines out there, like Daisy Ridley talking about her Star Wars character and background. We're going to be taking a look at a new trailer called Freaky with Vince Vaughn. That's kind of like a horror comedy. We're going to talk about some other small little headlines, and then we'll end out the show with this Wonder Woman thing that has come up where it may get pushed back. Oh, please say it ain't so. Okay, let's start off the day with some somber news. It's no better, there's no good place to say something like this. I could put it at the end or at the beginning. At the end, it's kind of a bummer. But today, Diana Rigg has passed on at the age of 82. You may recognize her from Game of Thrones as the mother who poisoned Joffrey. From the articles, it seems like she's just passed on from old age. Nothing too serious, at least as of now. But I just want to, acknowledge that and thank her for her work. She was in the Avengers a long time ago. She was in Bond. Good career. It's not a good way to start off the show, but we'll talk about some lighter things now. Let's talk about those Daisy Ridley headlines that came out a couple days ago. So, Daisy Ridley was on I think it was like a conference call or a Zoom with Josh Gad, where she was throwing some shade, I guess, about the Star Wars sequels. We'll pull that up, some articles about that here. She said that she was originally a Kenobi in Rise of the Skywalker. Okay, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, she was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Josh Gad was hosting at the time. And there's videos out there. I'm not going to click on it because, there it is right there. It basically just goes to confirm everything that everybody's been saying, and there's countless videos out there. People losing their minds! Just screaming at the cameras and trying to get, those clickbait kind of views. But I just want to quickly weigh in with my thoughts on this. Basically, they wanted her to be a Kenobi at the start because that's why we heard Kenobi's voice in Force Awakens, but then JJ changed his mind to later say that, no, she's a Palpatine. Which is an interesting idea, but they never set things up in the previous installments for that, which just goes to prove again that they had no plan for the sequel trilogy. And the further that we get away from it, I'm just like, I really, really don't like those films. I'm just kind of like, okay, those are the Disney Star Wars in an alternate universe, and that I wish they could somehow do that. But I'll just read you a quick little quote here from Daisy. At the beginning, there was toying with an Obi-Wan connection. There were different versions, and then it really went to She Was No One, and that was in number 8. Then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy, and I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. It kept changing. So even when I was filming, I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be. Close quote. Guys, I like Daisy Ridley. I think she's got potential. She's got that look that the camera likes. I know that she hasn't had a whole lot of work since, but she's come up with that new World War II drama that I talked about that's going to be in the works, and I feel like that's good. But it feels like everybody's been done dirty by this sequel trilogy. Like, the guy who played Finn, John Boyega, came out last week and said these things about his character. Even yesterday in the new Dune trailer that got released, that Dune trailer was awesome. I'll leave links to that up in the cards. Oscar Isaac, in the intro to that, threw some shade at the Star Wars trilogy. He said, this is no Millennium Falcon. This is much better. Or something to that effect. And it's kind of like coming out now that Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm really dropped the ball. Yeah, they did. And then there's no excuse for it. All 3 films should have had scripts even before they bought Star Wars. Like, There was no reason to start things from scratch. They had all of the source material from the EU that they could have picked and, cherry-picked from, and they could have cohesively made a sequel trilogy that, here's your 3 scripts, okay, get 3 directors to come on board and do them, and then we'll work from there. And leave some room to negotiate with the way that audiences are responding, but just have it all come together on the fly was real disappointing. I'm not going to dwell on it too much more. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on it, and those are it. Moving on to some lighter headlines, it appears that there's going to be a Robocop prequel on the way with the young Dick Jones. That's being reported by Movie Hole, that MGM is working on Robocop series focusing on young Dick Jones that was played by Ronnie Cox in the original film, the evil executive that wanted the Ed 209 robots instead of Robocop. I don't know what they're thinking here, guys. Do we need to see a young Dick Jones in that universe? Because everybody's going to say, well, where's Robocop? Where's Robocop? Okay. We're OCP? Okay. Well, why are we seeing stuff that we want to see? Instead, we're seeing this executive. Here's my thought on this. There's a little quote in this article that I want to talk about. They talk about their love for the film, the original, and it says in this article, the question came up, how did this idea come about and what stage is it at? The answer was, I'm working at MGM on it. It has all the cool stuff about Robocop, except no Robocop. Okay then, why don't you just make a story about a young executive who's cutthroat and will take all of your ideas and is working up the ladder that way and have no bearing to Robocop. Just take the Robocop and OCP out of the equation and just make a story about a young executive who's like Dick Jones. You don't have to make it about Dick Jones. You know what I'm saying? Don't tie it to the Robocop universe, because you're just going to taint people's interests when you're not going to show Robocop or OCP, right? Maybe you'll show OCP, but they go on to say, well, there's so much things that you can gravitate to in today's culture and stuff like that, and that'll work because... Really? But then why does it have to be Dick Jones? You can just make it... He could be the inspiration, but you don't have to... I guess if they feel like they can get the name brand recognition and that's how you're going to sell it to people. No, you sell people with a good story and a good trailer and a good premise, and people like me doing trailer reactions and talking about it. Not, I don't know what they're thinking with this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's move on to this trailer reaction for Freaky. Now, I'm trying something a little bit different today, guys. I'm going to be not showing you my trailer reaction in this video. I'm going to leave links to that up in the cards above, because things like that tend to get copyright claimed. So I don't gain anything off of those videos, but I don't mind doing them. I actually like doing them, and I will love to have them in the better part of the video. I'm just trying this for today to see how it works. You can see my reaction. I'll leave links to those up in the cards above. Freaky stars Vince Vaughn and a young actress named Catherine Newton, and it's basically kind of like that Freaky Friday body swap. I didn't know that it was from Blumhouse, and I didn't know it was from the guy who did Happy Death Day and its sequel, so it's familiar territory for the director, and it was just kind of an interesting trailer to watch. But I'll say to you what I said to them in that trailer reaction. It felt like I watched the entire movie, and you kind of know how it's going to wrap up, that they'll get switched back into their normal bodies at the end. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the twist, that they won't actually do that normal thing for this movie. But it did look like it had some laughs, and I suggest that you all check it out. You can see it. I'll leave links to it in the comments section below too. All right, Freaky. Yeah, it's slated for November 13th, 2020, which is kind of a weird release date, because I thought it would be better suited to be released in October to capitalize on all of the Halloween buzz. Now let's wrap things up today with this Wonder Woman news that it may potentially get held back. And I haven't been able to find anything concrete. Most of it is just speculation. Like there's tons of articles out there like on Cinema Blend and Deadline. Deadline had the best article. I'll put that Deadline article up here. The headline basically read, Wonder Woman 1984 exhibition braces for another release date change during the pandemic post-Tenet. Now, okay, Tenet. I thought it was maybe because of the Dune, coming out. Because Dune is slated for December, and that does pose some questions if you're going to delay it. Are you going to delay to Dune? And will Dune get pushed? Will Dune get pushed? I hope not. That will be a real bummer because I want to see it this year. We just saw the trailer. Please don't push it back for another year. Let's just read this little article here that goes on to say that Wonder Woman, this time the release date is October 2nd, may get pushed back to November or December, and that could bump Dune from its November 18th release, which will be a real bummer. Because theaters aren't open yet in some states, New York and some places in California, which they're missing out in a large section of the domestic market in the U.S. Okay, I get that. Even here. But the theaters are showing the movie at a lot of times, a lot of show times. There's not a lot of movies to fill up the theater, so Tenet is playing like 4 or 5 theaters. And that's how they're kind of making up the cost for it, right? Okay. So we know that's part of the reason that they may push Wonder Woman. Tenet is the other reason, because Tenet, its box office, is slowly climbing its way towards breaking even, but it's just over halfway. And it's made most of its money overseas so far. And now that it's opened up in the US, it's still slow. It's going to be one of those things where Tenet had the potential. It didn't have the potential to be $1 billion movie, but it had a potential to be, $500 million. It would have easily gotten its production budget back. But the way that the studios are looking at the way that the numbers are coming in, are they like, well, can we wait longer for when theaters will allow more people than what we are now? If there is a vaccine coming down the line, that'll help, people get back into the theaters a lot faster. Maybe we should delay it. It's these things that are coming into consideration here, that if it gets bumped, these are the reasons. I hope that it doesn't, because I can still go to the theater. And I know that's a bit of a trite thing to say, and I don't mean it that way. I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman. I want to see that movie. It's already been delayed. It got delayed to this year. It was supposed to come out last year. But if it gets bumped again, that means Dune gets pushed out, and everybody's been freaking out about Dune. And I feel like, that's not good news. Well, I guess that's the way that it's been today. You start off with a little bit of a bummer news, and then you end with some downer news. But that's the way it's been for September 10th, 2020 in the realm of movie and entertainment news. Let me know what you thought about some of these stories in the comments below. That's it. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right here. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domain's Movie News. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Right there.